Yes, guys. It's Tiago's Father 89 here from the Red Sea podcast, and we are back on your screens again. Feels like such a long time. This international break has dragged, but there is good news. Italy will not be at the World Cup. They will not be at the World Cup. But we are here. We are bringing you all the Liverpool latest. We're bringing you everything Liverpool, Watford. Make sure you keep tuned. We're ready to go straight after this intro.
Tell the world we are Liverpool, champions of England.
We've conquered all of Europe. We're never gonna stop. From Palestine to Turkey, we've won the fucking lot. But Paisley and the Shankly, the fields of Anfield Road. We are unsupported, and we come from Liverpool.
Yes, guys. We are back on your screens again. Back where we belong. It's been such a long time. Big up LJ, jumping in. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you back in as well. And it's me here, Tiago's Father 89 on your screens with my co-host, Southern Scouser. I've forgotten what he looks like.
It's been forever, mate.
I know. Obviously, as time goes on, I get more handsome. So
I get better.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't going to say anything. It's good to be back, guys. Bit of housekeeping. If you're not already, make sure you're locking in and following everything the Red Sea podcast has to offer. Obviously, it's just me and SS on your screens today. We don't have the lovely Courtney with us. She's off on a little mini break. Where's she gone?
Where did she say? Can't remember now. Somewhere nice.
Yeah, somewhere nice. We don't. Maybe we don't put it out there. We don't want all the fans going and hunting her down.
Probably not the best to drop her location.
Going Courtney spotting. Yeah, she's off on a little mini break somewhere. Is she gone with a fella or something? Is she? Is it one?
I don't know. I'll stay out of it, mate.
You lot are all loved up at the moment, aren't you?
Well, what can you say?
Yeah, well.
Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready for a big month ahead, though, mate. April is looking tasty.
What, you popping the question?
No, Liverpool was. Calm down.
Right, yeah, I know. April's looking crazy. I mean, we know already. Benfica in there, City in there on a couple of occasions. We've got City in there. This could be make or break for our season, but also could be make or break for City's season. I know who I would rather it be. City, obviously, and not us. But without further ado, let's get straight into the agenda. So, first up, as always, as normal, is the recent head-to-heads, which Absolutely. I would probably gauge has been very, very fruitful from a Liverpool perspective. The last game you and I were at, and we saw an absolute goal fest from Liverpool.
No, we did. It was very good. Like you say, the away match, the reverse fixture was a very nice day out for me and you. 5-0 win at Vicarage Road. Bobby Firmino hat-trick. And yeah, we just absolutely ran the show. Kelleher was in goal for that game. Obviously, Alisson and Fabinho were back quite late from the international break that time. Don't think we'll have a repeat of that this time around. I think they're both back in good time. So you would expect a pretty strong team lining up tomorrow. But yeah, nice 5-0 win back in October of last year. Season before that, well, by the way, that was Liverpool's biggest ever win at Vicarage Road, just to throw that out there. So we picked the right one. Back in February 2020 was actually Watford's biggest win.
Let's not talk about it.
Liverpool, which we were having that perfect season, weren't we? I mean, it very much came to a halt, even though we still ended the season as champions. But it was a dark day for Dejan Lovren and Liverpool SC.
7-2.
No, that was, you're thinking Villa, aren't you? It was 3-0. 3-0.
Yeah,
Ismail Sarr with a couple, and then Troy Deeney got on the act as well.
Yeah, with that silly fucking goal.
Yeah, we were all over the shop that day. But the reverse one of that one, obviously the season that we won the league, December 19, home 2-0 win. So 2 from Mo Salah, and interestingly, the gap of 40 points between Liverpool and Watford was the biggest gap between two opposing teams for a pre-Christmas game in the top division since 1981. So that run that Liverpool were on from August, starting with Adrian in goal for those games up until pretty much that Watford game where we lost, was probably the greatest run of form domestically Liverpool we've ever seen. So I think we might need to repeat that if we're going to get some trophies from now until May.
I totally agree with you. I feel like we're on a decent run though. I feel like things are looking all good in the hood. I'm not worried to the same kind of effect as I have been in recent years. To be honest, we're looking really really good. But so are Manchester City as well. And like I was saying, the penultimate month, it comes down to this, doesn't it? It comes down to this. Before Christmas, we were sat here saying, people were saying there is no title race. And, I bumped into a friend tonight while I was coaching. And I saw him before Christmas in the barbershop. And he was saying to you guys, it's over. You're not in it. You're not in it. You're not in it.
So was I.
Yeah, well, and I saw him tonight because I told him, I said, listen, the title race is still on. And I saw him tonight and he's like, do you know what, man? I never thought. He goes, every game I've been watching, just thinking of you. And I was like, I told you, bro. I said, I told you, it's still on. But let's get back to the business of Watford, Liverpool. So Watford recent form. I mean, it kind of looks like the new manager bounce has kind of taken effect a little bit. Obviously Roy Hodgson has arrived at Watford in a bid to turn around their fortunes and save them from the drop. Now, they were languishing under the Tinker Man, as they call it. This will be their third managerial appointment second managerial appointment this year, with a Tinker Man coming in, and obviously now the wily old fox in Roy Hodgson. But he seemed to have kind of stirred it up a little bit at the back, and they don't seem to be shipping as many goals as they were before. I think their problem is scoring goals. They are having a bit of an issue with sticking the ball in the back of the net, but I still think they could potentially have what it takes to beat the drop. Watford are that kind of team, aren't they, that flirt with the relegation on a consistent basis, that kind of yo-yo team along with your Norwiches. I'd rather see Burnley get relegated over Watford, if I'm being honest, because those fuckers have been flirting with it for way too long. Their time is now, to be honest.
No,
I mean, how do you see it?
I think you might see all three go down, to be honest, this season. Majority of the season, it's been those three teams in the relegation zone. And for me, Roy Hodgson is what he is. He, like you say, he's a steady Eddie. He was at Crystal Palace and, consistently not really in trouble for relegation, but not really trouble in a top 10 finish either. Is he a manager that can come in halfway through a season and improve results to climb out of a certain position? I'm not too sure. He can steady the ship, like you say, that the goal scoring, and they've picked up a couple of decent results, but does he have enough manager bounce, as you say, to claw somebody out? Because the form that you need to save yourself from the position that they were in is hell of a lot better than what was there previously, and I don't know if they're going to have enough of a change around. I look at the current form table, currently 15th in the last 6 games, 1-2, drawn 1, lost 3. The likes of Brighton and Norwich have lost 6 out of 6, so they're not the worst team in the world, but like you said, they've only scored 6 goals, which is pretty poor in 6 games, but they've actually let in 12. So it's one of them that, they've had some interesting results, really. There's some decent wins against Southampton last time out away, which is a great result. They got battered by Wolves 4-0. They narrowly lost at home to Arsenal. Drew 0-0 at Old Trafford. Got smashed at home to Palace, but won away at Villa. So it's been very, very weird.
Isn't it?
Better form away than at home, and maybe that's the style that they play. At home, I think the crowd expect you to go and be on the front foot. Probably
a lot of pressure,
picking up some wins, but away, they probably do a little bit more shithousery kind of style, and it's been fruitful, like you said. So it's going to go down to the wire. It's going to go down to the last day. Everton are the team that they're looking at currently. Brighton are in free fall. Leeds and Brentford in and around. But yeah, if I had to say it, I've been saying those three for quite a while.
Yeah, I think the writing's on the wall probably for Norwich. I think Burnley are in a precarious position, but Burnley, interesting enough, 27 games played. Watford played 29. Everton played 27. So Watford have got it all to do. And then again, Leeds played 29. 30 games. Points-wise, Leeds on 29 points. Everton on 25 points with 3 games in hand over Leeds. And Watford said play 29 games, 22 points as well with Burnley on 21 points. So 27 points and played played 27, 21 points. So they've got 2 games in hand as well. So it does look difficult for Watford. They're relying on a few people to get sucked in and pulled in. I mean, if you're looking at their next kind of games, you know,
It's not easy.
Well, they got us.
Big
Following
games
that, it's Leeds. Following that is Brentford, who are obviously in and around there as well. Manchester City after that, and then you got Burnley, who are in and around it as well. So
3 6 pointers there.
That's what I'm saying. They're in a bit of a mini league there. So I would say it's still in their hands. If I'm being honest, it is still in their hands, but with a lot to do to actually try and get out of the position that they're in. Interestingly enough, I mean, if we jog it on, and I didn't want to spend too much time talking about Watford because there isn't much to talk about. If we're being honest, a team that's lagging in the relegation battle. We are the main event in this fixture. We're going for an unprecedented quadruple, still challenging on all 4 fronts. Obviously, with the League Cup recently wrapped up, and then obviously we've got the FA Cup, the small matter of Manchester City, the League, the small matter of Manchester City, and then the small matter of Benfica in the Champions League. Come the end of April, we could either still be on for a quadruple, or it could literally be all over. We could be walking away from April, licking our wounds, and only really having the League Cup to show for this season.
Yeah,
I mean, a decisive month. April could be a make or break point in Liverpool's season as the Reds take on City in the league and in the cup. That is the biggest. Do I choose my words more carefully? No, I'm gonna go for it. This fixture, Liverpool and City, is arguably the biggest fixture in the Premier League calendar now.
Yeah,
I appreciate rivalry. I appreciate rivalry. Liverpool Manchester United is a huge rivalry. Yes, I believe it's probably the Liverpool Manchester United still probably the most watched fixture in and around El Clasico and those kind of games like that. But when we're talking about biggest fixture in the Premier League over the last 5-6 years, it has been Liverpool Manchester City. Now we get treated to this on 2 occasions this month, and we've been here before. We've been here before. If you remember the Champions League, we played them in the Champions League, and then we played them in the league as well. So we've been here before. SS, I'm going to hand over to you. What's your thoughts? Let's drop it like it's hot. Where do we see this going? Because we've got the fixtures up here already. Obviously, we go to Watford tomorrow. We then go to Benfica, and then straight after during that week on Sunday the 10th. It's Liverpool City at the Etihad. Where do you see this heading?
I mean, like you say, to touch on the biggest fixture, I mean, Manchester City and Liverpool are the best 2 teams in the world, in my opinion. Right? They might not be European champions or whatever, but these 2 are the best 2 teams that there are. So it all comes down to April, and like you say, it's not just a big month for us; it's a big month for them, isn't it? They're in the FA Cup, they're in the Champions League, they're 1 point ahead in the Premier League, and like you say, we have been here before. Every single season, it seems to come down to one game between these 2. The John Stones one, the 98, 97 points. Who's going to get the best of them and better of each other on the day? But it's a huge fixture, and we've got a game every 3 days. And the interesting thing is, if you look at the bottom row, Everton and Newcastle, that's the only fixture in this list where there's more than 3 days gap. If we beat Benfica in the Champions League, Bayern Munich will go in between Everton and Newcastle. So we could even have an extra fixture in April. We could have 9 games in 1 month, which is quite incredible.
Bring it on, boy. Bring
absolutely.
it on.
Like you say, that the reason that we watch football, the reason that you support a team is to be here. August to March is to be in this position, is to set yourself up. Are you in with a shout of the league? Are you in the cup still? Have you picked up the early trophy? Are you still in the Champions League? And we're in all 4. So like you say, from his position, it would be very disappointing if we only had the League Cup to show for it. You've said it many times, mate. You know, this team, this Klopp team, should have more trophies to show for it. And, you know, we've got 3 big opportunities right there on the screen to make that, you know, within one season. So, you know, I think we've been quite fortunate with the Champions League draw, if I'm honest. I think Manchester City versus Atletico is a harder game. So fingers crossed we can come out of the midweek game twice into that weekend match with City at the Etihad and at Wembley with a slight advantage. I think Jurgen Klopp has rotated the squad brilliantly. If I'm honest, I think really, really well. Everybody's had a good rest for this. Trent didn't go to England. There's a chance he could play tomorrow, which is great. You know, he's had a little rest. If he misses Watford, I don't think it's the end of the world. So, you know, I'm really confident. I think Watford should be a pretty straightforward game. Benfica as well. If we can get a decent lead in the first leg, it's all eyes on those City games, because United, Everton are very, very winnable matches. Newcastle, the way is not easy. They're in great form. But yeah, you know, my eyes are instantly drawn to the back-to-back City games, you know, twice in 6 days. If I had to pick one to win, it would be the Premier League game. But, you know, imagine winning both of those and going top of the league into the semi-finals into the final of the FA Cup and into the semi-finals of the Champions League. I mean, it could be, you know, we could be on for all 3 if that happens. And personally, I don't think it's that outrageous to think that could happen, because, you know, Diaz, Bobby, Jota, Salah and Mane, all the centre-backs are fit. The midfield options look great. As you said, mate, bring it on.
It is the perfect storm, isn't it? Really. I mean, we dare to dream. We dare to dream, and honestly, that week is the penultimate week. That is the week that really matters. I think there's my only fear is that, does Klopp rotate for the Benfica game? Does he turn around and say, right, we're going with a slightly different look? Because I don't think it'll be a weakened team in by any stretch of the imagination. But I don't see Virgil playing every game or every one of those fixtures. I don't see, you know, Sadio playing every one of those fixtures. Bobby, Diaz, Jota. Do you know what I mean? Someone, even Thiago. Thiago doesn't play against Watford. He plays against Benfica and he plays against City.
It's a good point that you make. You've got to pick certain players for certain matches, because there's going to be, you know, a match at home to Watford compared to a match at Wembley against City compared to Benfica away. 3 very, very different games, 3 very different tactics that you're going to need. You know, Curtis Jones is going to come back into the fold, I would expect, if Thiago's not there, someone that can carry the ball, spot that pass. And for me, there's certain players that have to play every game at this stage of the season. Alisson, Van Dijk, you know, Mo Salah. Trent probably after the Watford game is going to feature in all those matches. I think you make a good point in terms of the weakened team. I think we've now got the option to rotate and not really have one. You know, you could have Mane or Diaz on the left, Jota or Bobby through the middle, Mo on the right. You know, the midfield options: Henderson, Fabinho, Thiago, Jones. You know, Keita's picked up a lot more recently. Elliott's another option that is struggling to get a look in. You know, Chamberlain barely gets a kick, but I think you make a good point where you look at the Watford game. You know, you can drop in a Chamberlain, you can drop in a Milner. You don't necessarily need the best 11 you've got ahead of another 8 games in April. So it's going to be interesting how he rotates, how he chooses it. But for me, I think there's going to be, you know, 3 or 4 key players that are probably going to play at least all but one of those.
Well, I think to myself, we've been here before. Once upon a time, we were in a position where we didn't have this luxury of squad rotation. Do we anchor back to Liverpool of old and say, right, hell for leather, this is the month. This is the month where we go on and win this? Because heading out of April, there's not many more games to play. We're into May.
Yeah,
we're there. Do you know what I mean? That is it now. We're on the home straight. So does he say, right, this is my team for April, go out and get it done. You know, and I think there's reason to believe that could be it. My concern would be with the Watford game. That's a concern for me. My concern would be with the Everton game. You know, my concern would be with the Newcastle game. You know,
that one
those are
does stick out
teams.
to me.
Those are teams that are fighting for their lives. There's no reason why Watford don't come and just park the bus and say, right, break us down.
Yeah.
Roy Hodgson is a manager which knows how to set his teams up to defend. We saw it with Crystal Palace. They were very, very resolute defensively. They were hard to break down, hard to get in behind. There's no reason why Watford won't sit there for 45 minutes, 60 minutes and say, right, break us down and play counter-attack football. That's a concern for me. Benfica, it's a European tie. They're going to come out and play. We know City are going to come out and play. Yeah, we know City are going to come out and play. United will come out and play. This kind of new style they're adopting. They'll come out and play football. You know, Everton will try and sit in. Newcastle will try and sit in. The more stubborn opposition that's in that list is what concerns me. So we're going to have to be, very selective with the tools that we bring to this job to make sure that we get this done. Because for me, like I said before, there's no excuses now. There's no hiding places now. We can't sit here in 10 years' time, you and I on a park bench going, yeah, that team of 2022, Jesus Christ, what a team. And then we go, oh, they only lifted the League Cup. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Or in 10 years' time, we're sitting here going, Jurgen Klopp was probably the best manager we ever had. We had the best time, played the best football. Oh, we only lifted 4 trophies. We just now all the excuses need to be removed. I was listening to something Jamie Carragher said, and he spoke about sort of the Houllier in transition to Benitez, and he said that the season that Manchester United, Liverpool finished second to Manchester United was the best Liverpool team he ever played in.
Yeah,
it's remembered up until the Klopp era. Yeah, in recent memory, it would be remembered as probably the best Liverpool team we ever had. We're talking about Torres. Yeah. We're talking about Gerrard, Carragher, Hupia, Mascherano, Alonso, Riera, Arbeloa, Aurelio, Pepe Reina.
Great team.
It was a great team. That team had everything.
I'd say the only thing it didn't have was decent wingers. That was it.
To be fair, Riera wasn't a bad winger, and then they brought Maxi Rodriguez in the season after, who wasn't sensational, but he got a job done. For me personally, that team was as good as it got. It was as good as it got. Yeah. And that team, if we're sitting here and we're being critical, that team was, and this is what Kara said, that team was miles better than the team he won the Champions League in.
Yeah, no doubt.
But at the end of the day, which team is going to be remembered?
100%.
That's it.
Couldn't agree more.
We remember the Champions League team. We don't, it's only because we're diehard Liverpool fans. I bet we could sit and name every man that played in that Champions League team, whether they kicked a ball or not. Jesus Christ, Smeetser even got involved in it. Do you know what I mean?
Great goal.
Smeetser even grabbed the goal.
He did.
So we're sitting here and we remember that night because we won a trophy at the end of it.
Yeah.
We don't really remember the Liverpool team that finished second to Manchester United. Second's the first to lose. So we've got to cement this Klopp era with trophies. Do you want to jump into a couple of your comments as well? Hold on, what we got here? Will Scarlett, big shout out to you. With the exception of Chelsea, when they went to 10 men, we have learned how to unlock these teams and defend deep and sit in. Do you know what? Will, you make a great point. I think we have learned, but I think the reason why we've learned that is because Thiago's been in the team. And this is why I say against Watford, I don't think Thiago plays, only because of the fixtures which we've got coming up. Benfica in the Champions League, City, Benfica again, and then City. That kind of...
It's every 3 days. It's relentless.
Yeah, those 2 double headers that you've got in there, sandwiched together. And we know what Thiago's like. He'll play those 4 games, and he ain't playing against United. He'll play those 4 games. You ain't seeing that man for the rest of the season. let's be honest. He'll play those 4 games. Yeah, you won't see that man for the rest of the season. So
Bring
you
him out for
can't.
finals days.
Yeah, 100%. You can't afford those 4 games he plays to be Watford, Benfica, 1 City game, and then a Benfica game. And oh shit, we're at Wembley on the biggest stage, arguably in world football. Yeah, Wembley Stadium, the home of football, and no Thiago. So I just, and
I mean,
do you know what I mean?
I personally think we might start to see a bit of a weekend team and a bit of a midweek team, personally, because I think looking at the fixtures right now, 2 of the next 3 are in the Premier League. That for me is the priority right now. So we've had an international break. Different players have played different minutes. I think he goes as strong as possible against Watford. I think the Benfica one, yes, it's a quarterfinal of a Champions League. Yes, we have to play a strong side, which we still can do. But I very much look at that as a weaker team compared to the one at the weekend, the City grudge fixture. Because if we don't win tomorrow, the City game is a bit pointless, really. If we fall 3 points behind, 4 points behind, it's going to be a very long road back. So I think we might start to see midweek teams and weekend teams. Because if you look at the midweek matches, Benfica, and Man United, weekend matches, Prem, and an FA Cup semi-final. So for me, the weekend team is going to be the stronger of the two. And like you say, the likes of Thiago, Fabinho, Trent, Robertson, Van Dijk, Matip, Salah, Mane are going to play in all those weekend games for me.
I mean, it's an interesting one. Can someone confirm if Ruben Diaz is injured? And John Stones.
Still, yeah.
This does change things slightly.
It does. Very much
does change things very slightly.
I will quickly look into that for you.
Yeah, how can we get some info on this? Guys in the comments, can you get us some intel? Is Ruben Diaz and John Stones injured? Is the question. I don't tend to keep up with City shenanigans, but
Diaz is 100% out until the 20th of April. So he's going to miss both games against Liverpool. John Stones is not currently listed as injured as far as I'm aware. So yeah, I mean that's like us missing VVD, isn't it?
No, it's not.
I mean,
no, it's
I'm
not.
I'm not saying he's anywhere near as good. I'm saying he's
that's like us. He's. That's what I'm saying.
Fair enough. I'll let you have that one.
No, do you know? I won't even put it there. That's like us missing Joe Gomez.
Oh, okay, that's a bit harsh.
He's not okay. Let's get into this. Is he Van Dijk level?
No, not at all. I just meant he's very important to them. He's their best defender. That's all I meant.
No. I want to deep this. He's not Van Dijk. He's not.
Oh,
Van Dijk
no, he's nowhere near. He's not even on the same league as Van Dijk.
Exactly, and he's just. You know what? We'll give him Matip levels because he's a decent defender. So we'll give him Matip. We'll give him Matip levels. Levels.
I think they're about the same level.
Yeah, City fans, don't come for me. I'm just speaking facts.
Couldn't agree more.
It is what it is. So yeah, it's like if we were missing John Matip, but if we miss John Matip, then Kanate comes in and vice versa.
Yeah.
Right. Let's jog this on slightly because obviously we know how important April is, and it being a decisive month. The big one. Will, why are you trying to be the voice of reason?
That was my point.
No. Will. Welcome to the show, Will. But don't try and be the voice of reason. Don't try and give these City fans an inch. They need nothing. They need no invitation to try and compare bootleg Diaz, to Virgil van Dijk. He's not even the best Diaz in the Premier League anymore.
Oh, that's a great shout.
He's not even the best. He's not even the best Diaz in the Premier League anymore, bro.
That's the line of the show. That's quality.
He's not even the best Diaz in the Premier League. Yeah. So this Ruben fellow, who is this Ruben fellow? But welcome, Will. Thank you for trying to give them something, and I just snatched it away.
You did.
Right.
Fair play, mate. Well played.
Yeah. He's not even the best Diaz in the Prem.
I love that. We need to get that on a t-shirt. That's a line and a half.
Oh god! If anybody ever tries to bring Ruben Diaz to the table anymore, that is getting bopped out now. He's not even the best Diaz in the Premier League.
Fact.
Yeah, when they're talking about Diaz, they'll be like, "What do you mean? What do you mean, Lewis?
You mean Lewis, the Colombian?
Lewis Diaz, the Colombian? No, Ruben. I don't even know who that is, bruv.
It's Ruben.
What Ruben
they
Neves?
made damages. Ruben Neves.
you mean Ruben Neves?
No idea this dude is. Where's he been? He's been out forever.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he's not levels, bro. He's not levels. But do
No.
you know what though? No, this will be the BS now. Look, I'm just
Yeah,
writing
yeah.
this now. This is the BS. If Liverpool manage to win the Premier League, yeah, this will be their excuse. Oh well, when you didn't have Virgil van Dijk, you only finished third. We didn't have Ruben, and we finished second. This will be their little counterattack. I can feel it already. I can feel it bubbling. I can feel the
It's
City
literally there.
fans.
You know,
Yeah,
spot on. Exactly what's going to happen.
I can feel the City fans going, "Oh well, we're a better team than you because blah blah blah." And I'm like, bro, Ruben was out for a month and a half. VVD was out for a whole season. Come on, give it context.
As long as 2 other centre backs out of our 3 centre backs that we had at the time.
But do you know what though? This is a thing though, and look, and credit where credit's due. Manchester City have been a phenomenal force. They've been a great competitor. We've been tussling with them for so long. But this is the fine margins that it comes down to when supporters are trying to get one-upmanship over such little things. This tells you the rivalry is real. And I got shot down about a year, 18 months back when I said that for me, Manchester United are not a rival to Liverpool Football Club. I don't see them as a rival in today's world. There's a historical rivalry because of what it means in terms of the port, what it means in terms of the 20 league titles Manchester United have, and the 19 league titles Liverpool have, the trophies that we've won, being the major dominant forces in English football, spanning 2 decades each, respectively. Yeah, I get it. I understand it. You know, and you can never ever forget that. But in the here and now, in terms of going back to back competing, Manchester United Football Club are not a rival for Liverpool Football Club. They are not a match for Liverpool Football Club in recent years. City are the ones that we're trying to wrestle that kind of grip away from. And I have to say, the rest of the Premier League, you should hang your head in shame because we're the only ones that have pushed Manchester City. We're the only ones. Where have you been? We're the only ones that have pushed Manchester City. Big shout out to you, Damien. Welcome back, mate. Good to have you. And do you know what? This is a fair comment. I struggle to have hatred for Manchester City. They're plastic as a Chelsea. But Joe's was enough for us to hate all City just. No, I get it. Do you know what? And I don't hate City. I don't hate City. And respectfully, the team I hate the most is Chelsea. For that whole Jose era, that whole shithousery, that is a team I hate the most in the whole league is Chelsea. And I'll shout it from the rooftops. I can't fucking stand Chelsea, even more than Man United, even more than Everton. I hate Chelsea with a passion. They are the worst. God, they are the absolute. Do you know, I could go on a whole rant about how much I hate fucking Chelsea.
Or maybe we'll have to play them again. They've got obviously if we make FA Cup final, if we make the Champions League final. You know, we could be playing City or Chelsea again.
Yeah, we'll have it anyway. I'm not scared. I'm not scared of Chelsea. Chelsea is shit.
Bring it on, mate. I think we've had a bit of a touch in the Champions League draw. If I'm honest, I think we've had a pretty good.
Yeah, it's a stroke. Yeah, it's a stroke. It is a stroke. It is a total stroke. But Bayern Munich, if we go through to the next one, Bayern Munich next time will not be no tough task. But we've dispatched them before.
Yeah.
Right. Let's jog it on. King of Africa.
Absolutely.
Sadio does it again.
He does indeed, mate. Oh, poor old Mo, eh? I mean, would you have taken one each? Do you think if they'd have agreed, one plays World Cup, one wins AFCON, they'd have shook on it? Might have done.
No, they both want everything, and I think this is Sadio Mane. Do you know what? Right, Mane's moved it. Mane stepped it up. I think, and the reason why I think he stepped it up is because I think he kind of saw Mo was getting all the kind of plaudits and this isn't I don't think he's got any hatred for Mo, but I think he's kind of thrown the gauntlet down to Mo now and kind of said, like, people call like, yeah, best play, I'll take best player in the world. People will turn, I think Sadio will turn around and say, yeah, best player in the world because he's leading the scoring charts, he's leading the assist charts, best player in the world. But people were saying King of Africa.
Yeah.
And Sadio was like, bro, like, come on.
Not my beer. Well, not my beer. Yeah, we don't drink, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Bro's like, Sadio was like, hold my coat. Like,
Of
do
my,
you know
of
what I
my
mean?
sparkling water.
Yeah, hold my mocktail. Yeah,
Yeah.
hold my mocktail while I come through. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
he's done it. He's done it. He's done it. And credit to him. I will. And what we're going to discuss now is the distaste in terms of the laser lights in Mo's eyes. I mean, I was talking about this again today in the barbershop. Can you check out my fresh trim? Look at
It
that.
does look very cool, mate. I'll be honest,
Yeah.
those waves.
Big shout out to my man Damiano here, Nick Damiano, best barber out there. Afro Barber of the Year on many occasions. He's the guy. So if you're looking to get freshened up, go check him out. Yeah, I mean, we were talking about this in the barbershop, right? Amongst many other football things, because Mick is Italian. So I was yeah, I was throwing the jokes down there after he'd shaped me up. To be fair, I didn't want any
let him do a
pushbacks on
good
the
job
hairline.
first.
Yeah. He wasn't holding the cutthroat at the time. I mean, look. I mean, if you're Mo, do you refuse to take the penalty? Because he would have seen the lights.
It's a great point. I mean, it's not the first time we've seen the lasers. We've seen them at Wembley with England as well. So yeah, it's the bottom line is it's not fair, is it? Really? I mean, if you're going to start doing this, we're going to have to have these massive games, because I really enjoyed the African playoffs. I thought they were excellent. We're going to have to start having them in neutral countries. What's the other option, or no fans? So that's not what anybody wants. So I get it's huge, isn't it? Any advantage that you can get as a fan, especially against the best player in the world, I understand it. But yeah, for me, it's really poor. And like you say, yeah, they should have said, you know what, look, ref, it's literally on me. It's on me. I can't do it. And they should have gone and taken the penalties up the other end of the pitch for me. That's what should have happened. That would have been the logical thing to do. Senegal's fault for doing that. They lost the advantage of doing the penalties in front of their own fans. That's their fault. But I don't think it would have made a huge difference, really. I think Senegal, yes, Mane versus Salah, yeah, is the big poster boy thing. But Senegal are just a better team than Egypt. They've got better players. For me, Egypt are a good side. They stick to what they know. They try and shithouse their way through, which they've done successfully. But Senegal are just a better footballing team. They've got better players in every position, really. And they both got that match winner. So yeah, the pens were poor. They should have been moved up the other end. But yeah, at the end of the day, like you say, Sadio Mane stepped up for his country. Mo, unfortunately, is just from a place where he's not got a great deal of help around him. So it is a shame. But it's interesting that you mentioned Mane stepped up, because the contract talk is still grumbling on. It's all about Mo Salah, but Sadio Mane's out of contract in a year's time, and he's thinking, well, hang on a minute.
What about me? Yeah,
what about me, mate? Because like you say, Mo Salah is the best player in the world. He wants what, 350 grand a week. Sadio Mane is going to be wanting at least 300 then to stick around. And
this is it. And this is it. Maybe this is where Liverpool is trying to be more strategic with this. Maybe this is why we're not seeing the Mo contract come as soon as we would have liked.
Yeah, exactly. So that I've been critical of Sadio Mane in the past. The season where we came third, he was below par. That's just a fact. But he's bounced back massively. Diaz coming in has really put the rocket up his butt, I think, as well, to step it up. His goals to games ratio is one of the best left wingers we've ever had in the history of Liverpool. So what more do you want, really? So when he's on his game, yeah, he misses chances, but look at the amount of goals and assists that he does get. So for me, I would be signing on both. It's a tricky one, because we have built ourselves in the right way. We haven't just chucked money at people from day one. We've brought them in. They're not superstars. We've improved. We've improved. We've got the best manager in the world that's improved them, and they've had to earn bigger contracts. It's been performance related, and it pushes them on to do more. You've got United giving Sancho and Rashford 350k just because, and look what happens. That the motivation is no longer there. So I would expect the contracts to be sorted at the end of the season, personally, for both of them. I don't want either of them to go, because they're both, who are you going to bring in that's better than them? Yeah, we've got a front five, but I want to keep a front five. I don't want it to go to a back to four. So
I agree.
Like you said, mate, let's go for everything this season, and let's go for everything again next year.
I totally agree. And like I said before as well, I don't want Diaz to be a replacement. I want him to be an addition. Yeah,
Totally agree.
I think at the stage we're at now, in the next 2 years at least, yeah, 2024 is when Klopp is rumored to be moving on. Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll get to that in the open discussions a bit later on. But 2024, and we're fast approaching that.
we
So
are.
I think personally, Jurgen Klopp needs to have every tool at his disposal to try and lift as many trophies as we possibly can. This year is massive. I say it, and I've said it before. Had we have not had the injuries that we would have had, we were winning that league last year. We were going back to back last year. Don't give a damn what anybody says. We were going back to back up until even after the VVD injury. It was a Matic one that killed us. Fabinho in and out with injuries. Henderson, everybody went down with it. No one was near us until then. Yeah, we were going back to back. I've said it before as well. Revenge tour. It seems like it's coming together this year. I don't want to give it the kiss of death, but we're in every single competition still. They're ready to rock and roll. I mean, look, Damien Smart. I think we kind of all are convinced of the same thing as well. That Diaz is a replacement. Because we've seen it before. The year that Wijnaldum walked out the club, Thiago came in the year before. Thiago was his replacement. As much as we like it or not, it seems to be a consistent theme of Liverpool Football Club. But why does it have to be? Why does it have to be? Why do we have to accept it? We're seeing how well it's working. We're seeing that the team is performing. We're challenging on all fronts. Surely this is going to demonstrate to Liverpool board that this is the model. This is the model. We have to have the world's best at the club all at the same time. And you can see already the rebuild that's going on in the background. We're signing young players. We've got young players coming through. But you can't just switch that tap off. There has to be a transition from the old guard to the new guard. It's got to happen. They've got to be there to pass the baton on and build up the young players rather than just kind of go, right, that's it, done, next, you're in. It's just not going to work. I mean, let's flick to a couple of your comments really, really quick as well. Big shout out to you, Remy, as well. We can't keep a front three as they are now.
Can I answer this one?
Have to go. Go for it.
Yeah, so you make some good points, and like you say, we've now got a front five. We used to have the front four with the old guard plus Coutinho. He left. We got positions that we needed, a goalie and a centre half. It had to be done. But like I say, once you've got that 11, then you're looking at, all right, we can get top four, we can title challenge, we can win a cup, we can win a Champions League. Me and you have talked about doubles, trebles, quadruples now. This is how you do it. You have to have it. You don't have to sell one. You look at Manchester City, who were, like you've just said, our main rivals in terms of a competitive edge. Grealish, Silva, Foden, Sterling, Jesus, Mahrez. That's 6. They've just got Alvarez from River Plate. That's 7. Even if they sell one in the summer, that's 6.
And the striker probably coming in as well. The Haaland rumours are not going away. I think Kane might be on the move as well.
Yeah. So they could have 6 or 7 attacking options. And we're like, we can't have 5. It might upset someone. No, you can. You can absolutely have 5. You've got 3 that start. And next season, you got 5 subs every single game.
Yeah, but we'll get on to that. I just think that, like we were saying, if we are going to be... Look, guys in the comments, let's be very open about this because we're all Liverpool fans. At least I hope so. Where do you want this to be? Do you want to be looking back after 2024 if the Messiah doesn't sign another deal? Yeah, thinking, we played some sick football, but we didn't win fuck all. Yeah, is that what you want to be saying? The time is now. Surely we've got the best strike force in the world. That strike force is the best in the world. There is nobody out there outgunning that strike force. It's not happening.
No.
They're not outgunning that strike force.
Nope.
Collectively, with the top scorers in the Premier League,
That's
they're not outgunning that strike force in Europe, in the world. Nobody has that. Yes, they have individual qualities. You may look over at PSG and say Neymar, Mbappe, Messi, Di Maria, but he's not even playing. Yeah. But at the same time, they're not firing all cylinders.
How's their Champions League campaign going? Oh, yeah.
Exactly. It's disjointed. It's hard. It's unharmonious.
Yeah,
At
it is.
Liverpool, everybody seems to be going for the same goal. They
No
all
one looks
want
unhappy to me.
trophies. None of them look unhappy. None of them look unhappy. They all want trophies. Big shout to you again, Damien Swart. Not about what we want Thiago's father. The club won't renew those three's contracts. Those three are at an age, especially when they have Jota and Diaz. Look, again, I totally understand where you guys are coming from, and the Liverpool model has shown us that this may be wishful thinking. But
Yeah.
I'm just merely trying to challenge the status quo. You're seeing the rewards that we have, or we're reaping the rewards of having those five at the top of their games in the here and now, right now.
Yeah.
Why can that theme not continue into next season and beyond? There's nothing stopping us giving Mo a 3-year deal or a 4-year deal, and Sadio a 2-year deal with an option of a third.
100%.
There's nothing stopping us doing that. We're Liverpool Football Club, guys. We're Liverpool Football Club. Do you think that Diaz is going to be pissed off if you turn around and say, listen, we're just going to phase out Sadio. We're going to bring you in. We're challenging on all 4 fronts. There's plenty of footballs we play. Look how much football the kid's played since he's been here.
A lot.
Look how much football the kid's played since he's been here. Because we're challenging on all fronts. You guys are thinking about this from a perspective where we've been out of every single cup competition before Christmas, and it's only the Champions League and the Premier League that we're in.
You just played the same 3-4 players.
You play the same 3-4 players. It's not that season.
We're not used to being on these competitions, are we? At this stage of the season,
no. And if we lift, we got 3 left to play for. Yeah, if we lift 2 out the 3, that's going to be down to the squad depth and nothing else. If we lift all of the 3 that we're left, that's down to the squad depth and nothing else. This is why Manchester City have been doing what they've been doing for the last nearly 10 years. It's to do with the squad depth. They've always had an embarrassment of riches. Chelsea before them always had an embarrassment of riches.
The doubles and the trebles that those 2 teams have done over the last decade, domestic trebles, Champions League and FA Cup or League Cup and Prem. There's so many. We've not done that because we've never had a squad. We've never had it. So, for me, 35 is the new 30. Like everybody's like, oh, the big 3-0. I'm 31. I don't feel like I'm out of my prime, at an amateur level. Why would a professional? Look at the level these guys are at.
I fucking do.
You got a year on me, knowing you?
Yeah, I have, yeah.
But now, do you know what I mean? Like, you don't look at a player now at 30 and think they're on their way down. They're literally not. Like, they're prime, 31, 32, 33. If they look after themselves, look at Ronaldo, look at Benzema, look at Lewandowski, some of the best players on the planet. I know Ronaldo is slightly down now, but he is approaching 40. Think about him at the age that Mo Salah is now, 29, 30, 31, 32. He was still the best player in the world or up there with the top 2. So everybody's so scared of this 3-0. So what? Give them new deals. And when we should be having this conversation after the next cycle, when they're approaching 34, 35, you don't give 3 of them 350, 400 grand a week. That makes sense. But right now, this front 5 is the best front 5 in the world. You keep them, you dominate football for the next 3 or 4 years. Hopefully Klopp signs an extension. And then when they all start to get to that 35 bracket, like you've just mentioned, mate, you're spot on. You've brought in the Jotas of the 25s. We've brought in the Diazes of the mid-20s to bridge that gap until that next age bracket is going to be ready to come through.
One thing I do, and look, I'm a football fan, so I will give credit where credit's due. One thing that I do like about Manchester City, all of their would-be legends, and I'll say legends in inverted commas because they're a company, they're a club with recent history, in terms of winning things. I'm not saying they don't have history, Main Road and everything that goes before. A real City fan will be able to tell me all their previous history, but it's not of the same level as a Liverpool or a Manchester United. So their recent history, so their recent club legends, i.e. your Agueros, you got Fernandinho there, David Silva, players, people like that. They've all been, and obviously company. They've all been allowed to leave the club for free. At the end, they've all seen out the end of their deals.
They've not cashed in anyone, have they?
They've not cashed in because they've understood the importance of that cycle. Silva arguably cycled with Foden. He seems like a similar kind of player they've brought in, and then they've gone and obviously got a Grealish to supplement that at 100 million. Yeah,
Mhm.
you've got Fernandinho that's still there. Rodri is arguably having the best season he's ever had in a Manchester City shirt, but Fernandinho is still there.
Yeah.
Company, Laporte. Company left, Laporte's kind of come in, but they've supplemented that with Diaz.
Yeah.
They're so good at doing it.
Yeah. They've been
You
doing it for
have
years. That's why they've been so successful.
and yes, they've got that level of money. We've obviously proved that there is another way of going about it with a great scouting system,
Yeah.
and bring it and developing players. But why can we not have a slice of it? I personally think that an alarm bell has gone off in Jurgen Klopp's head and also in the Liverpool Board's head. I think this season will be the alarm bell. I think it will essentially be, if we come out of this with another trophy or even another 2 trophies, it will be a case of, right, we go again, because
Yeah.
it's down to the squad depth. And yeah, I think there was a comment in here about the midfield. Yeah, big shout out to you, Ultra Freestyle Swordsman. Good to have you back in here.
Good to see you, mate.
The midfield needs an upgrade next season for me. Ox is the first to go. Tuchemeni is a must, not Bellingham. Look, I agree. There could be some fine tuning that we can make in that midfield. Tuchemeni is absolutely fantastic, but there are other options available on the market. It's not just those. The scouting department go far. I mean, there's still talk of us getting the kid from Fulham over the line. That's rumored to be done. Carvalho, that's rumored to be done. Yeah. So we are looking towards the future, but you can't just out the current crop without these players being ready. I don't know if any of you have ever had an opportunity of listening to some of the John Barnes interviews, and he talks about this. He talks about being part of the old guard where Liverpool were a dominant force, and it was kind of like when you came to Liverpool, there was no real training. He was saying you just came in and you was like, right, we've brought you because you're the best. So go and win us trophies. That's what you're designed. That's what you're here to do. Go and win us trophies. Yeah.
When you're
But
that
then,
good, it's kind of fair enough.
yeah. But then, according to John Barnes, they didn't do that with the young players. They almost kind of assumed the same thing of all the young players coming through at the time. The Robbie Fowlers, the McManamans, the McAteers, those
Yeah.
kind of players, that were coming into the squad were saying, right, like these boys don't really train. Like, go and win us trophies. And it was like, well, you've got to coach them into that way. They can't just be an end, and then you think, right, they're going to continue in the same vein. There's got to be a phase out of these players. Maybe Sadio is the one to be phased out, and Carvalho is the young pretender that comes in to back up Diaz. Maybe that's the one. But for me personally, we need a front five. We have to have a front five.
We've been saying it for a while, to be fair, haven't we?
It's a must. It really, really is. Guys, let's jog this on slightly because we've got a few other little bits to talk about before we end the show. So, 5 subs in the Premier League. Klopp's got his way.
He has. Yeah. He's been wanting it for a while, hasn't he?
Yeah, and I think it's the right move. Obviously, you haven't got the likes of Chris Wilder in the league trying to veto it, but I think it's the right move because ultimately, like Jurgen Klopp said in his press conference today, these players are playing more and more games. We have a Winter World Cup coming up.
Yeah, great point.
How is that essentially going to affect these players coming out of a winter tournament and then to come in and resume the league? This is something that should have happened and stayed past COVID. It should have stayed because ultimately these players are playing more football. And how do we expect them to perform at the highest level week in, week out if they cannot get the appropriate rests outside of the game, but also in game?
I agree. And the point that you make about the COVID thing, every other top European league did keep it and haven't reverted back. It was only the Prem that went back to the 3 games. So I don't really understand why you'd restrict teams from using their squads because we see such big squads now. Even the likes of Norwich, they've still got 23 players that are that are going to feature this season. So why would you restrict teams to play only 14 players a season? And that April fixture list that we've just brought up. If we beat Benfica, we're going to have 9 games in 1 month. You can't stick to the same 14, 15 players And that's when you start getting injuries. We want to see the best of the best at their best, not in August, not just in August, but in May as well. After a really long season. So, everybody's going to be like, oh, it benefits Liverpool and Man City and Chelsea, etc., etc. Which, yeah, I get that. But also at the bottom level, teams like Norwich and Burnley and Watford don't have, brilliantly strong players necessarily. But if they can use 2 extra players for a little bit more energy in the second half to try and keep out a Chelsea or a Liverpool or a City, it's just as beneficial to them if you use it in the right way. So, yeah, for me, it makes the most sense. The modern game, is going that way. I like the fact that you're still only allowed to make subs at 3 points within the game. So you're not going to have, you're not going to have 10 stoppages for 10 one substitutions. You can make subs at half time and only, 3 opportunities during that game if you want to make a double sub, a triple sub, or a quadruple sub. I think we saw the other week with Liverpool for the first time. I think that might have been in the FA Cup. So no, I think it's a good move. And for me, I always used to think the same thing when you could only name 7 subs on the bench. Why can't you name 9 or 11? So you've got an option to replace whatever position you need to replace. Why would you have to pick between having a left back or a right back on the bench? If the left back gets injured, well, my other left back's on the bench. It doesn't make sense to restrict it. So yeah, we'll see what it's like. But we've seen it in the Champions League. We've seen it in the cup competitions. So for me, it's just a natural progression of the game that we know, and it makes it better going forwards.
I totally agree with you. Right, let's jog it on again. Predicted lineup.
Oh, yeah, good question. I think we might have some differences in this.
Yeah. I'm going with Queeve. I think Queeve goes in goal.
Really?
Yeah, I think Callagher goes in goal. I think Callagher. I think does Robbo play or does Tsimikas? Tsimikas is injured, isn't he? Is he back?
He played for Greece in midweek, so I think he's okay.
Okay, so I think Tsimikas could play this game because Robbo only played a little bit of the international games, didn't he? He went down with a bout of sickness, so I think Tsimikas could play this game.
Wouldn't be against that.
Does Verge play? Does Verge play, or do we give him a little bit of an extended break heading into the Benfica game?
Yeah, 2 big games for Holland, didn't he?
Yeah, I think the back 2 are Matip and Konate.
Literally rested everybody.
Yeah, I think the back 2 are Matip and Konate, and on that right hand side, I don't see Trent playing. I think Gomez goes in there, or even Milner goes in there.
Wow.
So I reckon we're going to see a big change at the back there, just to give these boys that played the games a bit of extra rest.
Okay.
In the midfield, I think
flip a coin in the midfield. I think
if Milner doesn't go at the right back position, I think he plays in the midfield, and I think that does Fabinho play, or do we rest him also?
Yeah, again, he's had a big international break, isn't he?
I think Fab's resting. I think Milner takes the anchor role. I think Ox goes in there as well.
Wow, you're going full reserves.
I think Ox goes in there as well. Obviously, I don't think we're going to see a Keita because Keita limped out in the international break.
Oh, did he? Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he limped out in the international break. So okay. I think obviously that the natural choice is going to be an Elliott or a Curtis Jones. I can't decide between the two. Up front, I'm going Jota. Actually, I'm going to go Bobby. I think Bobby plays, not Jota. Off the left, I think Diaz goes in there. And then I think Mo will play this because I think Mo's got a bit between his teeth. So I think Mo will play this. Yeah, and that's my team. What about you?
Fair play. No, all good reasons to be honest. No disrespect, but I don't see Keller playing another match this season.
Do you not?
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't mean that in any disrespectful way. I just think goalkeeper is different. The rotation really is only by choice because the game it's an FA Cup game against a Championship side. It's a League Cup final because it's his competition. I don't see it. If we'd have got Crystal Palace in the semi-final of the FA Cup, maybe. But yeah, honestly, I think Alisson plays every minute of every game till the end of the season. I really, really do. So it'll be interesting to see because, Champions League, yeah, even if we're 3-0 up from the first leg, you don't drop. You're not, the best goalie in the world for me. I think he plays every minute of every game. So I might eat my words, but Kelleher's a fantastic goalkeeper. And you make a logical point of the Watford game, pretty much on paper in that April fixture list is the easiest one. So if you're going to play Kelleher, play him now. But yeah, for me, with like Damien saying, that is a bit of a Carling Cup team that you've listed. Obviously, it gets better up front because the option, you've not gone with the Minaminos and the Origis. But I'm going to go Alisson at the back. If Trent doesn't play, I think Robertson has to. We looked pretty poor against Nottingham Forest without either of them. There was no creativity from either side. So Trent potentially misses out one more game. Robertson, for me, then 100% starts.
I wonder if Timikasi, I've never thought, can he play right fullback?
It's not a bad shout.
I wonder if he could, because mate, why can't we rotate in between the two? Because yeah.
It's a great point. I mean, I always used to look at James Justin at Leicester as the perfect fullback because he can play left or right. So, if you've got a first choice left back and a first choice right back, Justin can fill in, rotate either one, and you've almost got 3 going around 2 positions. So, yeah, I mean, if he can, 100%. But, yeah, I might be wrong. But I think Alisson starts. I think Robertson starts. Van Dijk, for me, is another one that I mentioned when we had the fixture list up. For me, plays almost every minute of every game from now to the end of the season. So I think he starts tomorrow. And I think alongside Joel Matip. Right back, again, I agree with you. It's probably a Gomez or a Milner. I think it's a tricky one, isn't it? I mean, it's at home to Watford, so you'd probably think James Milner. But then if they're playing Ismail Sarr on that side, that's a little bit of a roasting. So will he go with Gomez just for that extra little bit of pay?
I still think Gomez gets cooked by Lassar.
I think he probably does as well. So I mean, yeah, if Trent's available, I think he goes in. I think we have the first choice back 5 back tomorrow. Trent's the only one with the shadow because of the injury. I love that. Midfield, yeah, that's where you could see some changes. I think Fabinho could possibly be rested with Henderson in the 6. Henderson is pretty good there, especially against the weaker oppositions. So I might go Hendo in the 6. Yeah, does Thiago feature for Spain anymore these days?
I don't know if he played. I don't know if he went. Very good question.
Yeah, but I agree with you. I think Thiago is more used in Europe and the City matches coming up. So yeah, you could see him miss out. I think Curtis Jones is a good option, and I think potentially James Milner or Naby Keita to complete that midfield 3. Again, Harvey Elliott hasn't really done anything wrong, but he's not really featured lately. He's dropped out a little bit recently, and I get put young players in, take young players out, but interestingly for me, we've had an international break, and the players that remain at Liverpool and training throughout the international break tend to start the next game because they've been training week in, week out. And for 2 weeks, those players have been working on Watford. You've got the likes of Fabinho that have been looking at Bolivia or Colombia, whoever they might have played in the qualifiers. But these guys have been focused on that, on this Watford game for a while. So I expect there to be rotation in the midfield. The back, less likely so. But yeah, you could see a Hendo, Jones, Keita midfield, something like that. And then again, up top, I agree with you. I think Mo is a shoo-in for every game. Jota versus Firmino. I think one starts, the other one comes on. And on the left-hand side, again, I think Mane and Diaz, one starts, the other one comes on. So I expect to see, pretty much everybody involved tomorrow. But I think Fabinho, Trent, and Thiago are probably the main 3 I'd expect to miss out that will come back in for the bigger games ahead.
I agree. Before we get to score predictions, right? I forgot to read this bit out. I had a nice little bit primed for the Mo Salah talk. Is he going to retire from international football? We saw that. I don't know if anybody saw the little dressing room speech that he gave, but I'll read it out now. I told the players before the second match that I am proud to play with them, and they are among the best I've played with. Is what he says is what he said to the media.
Yeah.
I'm proud to play with you, and this is what he said. I am proud to play with you. It was an honor for me. What happened cannot be interfered with by anyone because the second time it is a penalty shootout. There is not much I can say, but it has been an honor to play with you. Whether I will be in the national team after that or not. So read into that what you will. You know, whether he decides to retire from international football and focus his efforts on Liverpool and being the best player in the world at 30. Who knows? I mean, African Cup of Nations is another 4 years away, isn't it? Or they decided to do it every 2 years.
They literally do it every year. It's on again next year.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, basically they make out this point because it's money, isn't it? That they're gonna we're gonna change it to even numbers now. Oh, actually, we're gonna change it back to the odd numbers again. So it's 2023 June and July apparently back to a summer edition, which I don't know why it couldn't have been this year if it is next year. And then they're gonna do 23-25. So within the next 3 years, Mo's got another 2 opportunities to win something with Egypt. So for me, no, he doesn't retire.
Very true. Maybe he was a bit upset at that point.
We've all been there, Gareth Bale says some similar things, and other people have said stuff like that, and then come out of retirement again, haven't they? So yeah, I'd be pretty gutted if I was him. You're 1 game away, 2 games away from qualifying for another World Cup with your country and winning the African Nations Cup, and you lose on penalties to the same team in both. Yeah. That's pretty hard to take.
That is very, very hard to take. Right, before we wrap the show up, score predictions, and you're starting.
Oh, okay. I'm normally ready to take a back seat. Normally leave me to the end. Yeah, I mean, for me, Roy Hodgson, he's not got a great record at Anfield, is he?
Not against us or managing us either.
Pretty shocking. For me, yeah, we've had a good decent rest. We're buzzing to go. We've not played at Anfield for 26 days, which is ridiculous. We had 3 away matches in a row, then an international break. It's literally been forever. So I think we come back with a bang. Klopp made the point, we need the best 12:30 atmosphere ever. I completely agree with him. It can be flat at that time. It just can be. So it's one of them ones, you never back the early kickoff in the old accumulators either, do you? So I don't think it's going to be a walk in the park. But I would hope, possibly 2-0, 3-1, something like that. Hopefully they don't score. So 3-0 would be mine. I don't think we're going to see 4s and 5s, but I'll have a little cheeky 3 points and 3 goals.
I think it's going to be 3-0.
I think so too.
Yeah, I think it's going to be 3-0. To be fair, I won't predict goal scorers, but 3-0 comes to mind.
Yeah. The goal scorers are hard because you've got a front 5 to pick from.
Exactly. I totally agree. Right, guys. That's been us. Thank you for joining us. Some of the regulars and some new faces as well. It's good to be back in the mix as well. Yeah, LJ's coming in 3-0 to us. Yeah, it's good to be back. Good to be back in the mix. And obviously we've got plenty coming up. There's lots to get our teeth into over the month of April. So make sure you're keeping it locked in with the Red Sea podcast. I've been Tiago's father. This has been my co-host Southern Scouser. We are over and we are out.